Hi, I'm Melissa Tucker, and I serve as a volunteer on the board at Independence Center. Independence Center is a nonprofit, transitional, mainstream residential program in Los Angeles, California. We are dedicated to developing the full potential of young adults aged 18 to 30 with special needs. Watch this short interview with Emily Stogsdill. Emily is a graduate of Independence Center who is happily married and has 2 amazing kiddos. Her and her husband even named their coffee shop after their oldest daughter.
My name is Emily Stogsdill. I'm from Orange County, California. I live in LA now. I have 2 daughters and I'm married.
Awesome. And I love the story of, so your husband and you guys own a coffee shop and you named it after your oldest daughter. Is that right?
Correct.
All right. Tell us the name of the coffee shop.
It's called Alana's Coffee Roasters. And he started it at local farmers markets in LA, and he found a business partner, and now in May they opened up their own coffee shop. So
that's phenomenal. I didn't realize it was just in May. I think I liked your Facebook page.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's great.
Nice. Thank you.
And you're currently a very busy mother and going to school to be an esthetician. And do you ever work in the coffee shop as well?
I don't.
No.
That's his baby.
That's awesome. All right. So tell us, when we were talking before, you were explaining how when you were in school back in the 80s, 90s, they didn't really have a test, but tell us some of your experiences.
But I was tested. The knowledge there, I don't think they have what they have now. So I think if I were tested now, it would be a different story.
What were
but they knew something.
Oh, go ahead.
They knew something was there. They just couldn't put their finger on what.
Yeah, what were some of your experiences or challenges that you were having?
Comprehension. I didn't like my reading. I didn't learn how to read until I was a little bit older than I should have been. Comprehension. Like my daughter was diagnosed with auditory processing, and maybe there's some of that, you know?
Makes sense. Yeah. But they didn't really have it at that level back then, the test for that.
I don't. So, yeah, no. Excuse me.
So you were saying when you were in school, your father and your stepmother helped you find a boarding school. That would be really good for you.
Yes.
And you were doing well there. Tell us about that a little bit.
Okay, so I went to boarding school in my sophomore year of high school in Maryland, and they found the boarding school through an educational counselor for learning disabilities named Paula Feldman, who found Independence Center for me. So it was an all-girls boarding school in Maryland, and I was there my sophomore through senior year of high school.
And then tell us about your experience of your first year of college.
So my first year of college, I was kind of set free, and I needed the structure, and I don't think it was there for me. So I was just off having fun, basically.
And then, so then you guys went back to your counselor, right? Because your dad didn't want to pay for you to just go have fun for college.
Exactly.
And she recommended Independence Center?
Yes, she's the one who found Independence Center. She had, I believe, another person, client that was going there at that time who was working for successfully. So she found that for me.
Awesome. And then take us through that application process.
Okay, so my parents found it. We went in for a tour. They interviewed my parents. They interviewed me, and then after the first appointment, I went back and had a 3-day visit for a weekend, and ended up at Independence Center.
And then, so when you were there, walk us through some of the life experiences that you learned, or some of the skills that, like we were talking about, getting a job and volunteering and some of that.
I did the job club, which teaches you, how to make a resume, set up a resume, go in for that interview. And so I ended up volunteering at a special educational elementary school. And after that, I got a job with a girl who was 10 years old at the time, and I worked with her for a year and a half. And I shadowed her at an after-school care. So
That's awesome. Okay, talk to us about what it's like, what is it like to live at Independence Center?
The social aspect's a lot of fun. You're with a group of people that you get to know and learn how to adapt to each other. They had social on the weekends. They had social activities we could do, like field trip type things. And then, they had the community. They had different groups that we could go to, cooking class. We also cooked for each other, for our roommates. We had nights that were our turns. So, yeah.
Are you still friends with anybody that?
I have several on my Facebook account that I talk to through Facebook, or I've seen a couple. One of the girls, though, Mary Kate, who I mentioned earlier, is my best friend. So,
and you were saying that she also introduced you to your husband now.
Yes, she did. They went to middle school together. We've been together like 18 years, and through Independence Center, through meeting Mary Kate, she was in the outreach program. We became friends, and then she introduced us. So, yeah.
That's so cool. I love that story. Okay, and then tell us a couple life skills that you learned at Independence Center that you use today.
How to learn how to get a job, keep a job. That was, one of the most important things, I think, aspects. I had never had a job outside of Independence Center, so that was very helpful, doing those interviews. And, going shopping, how to save money, how to pick out the right items. So, yeah.
Meal planning. I need that one.
Yes. Yes.
And then we were also talking about how you've been independent ever since you graduated.
Yeah, I haven't, lived with any of my parents. My husband and I have been married for 18 years and have done it together on our own. So,
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Was there any, what advice do you have to either parents or young adults who are looking at Independence Center as an option?
That's a hard one. I wouldn't go in. I would go in with an open mind. Go in with an open mind and take the experience and take that information and feed it to your brain,
Mm-hmm. And what advice what life advice do you have someone that might have a learning disability? Maybe they're not diagnosed either.
For sure, if you have the accessibility to get yourself tested, do so.
If you could give advice to your younger self, what would you say?
I knew then what I know now.
Yeah.
I'm going to Santa Monica College. I'm going back to school to become an esthetician, and I'm about halfway there, probably 3/4 of the way there, with my girls, with my husband having his store. I'm the one who's taking care of the girls right now. I'm like the main person. So I'm slowing down my classes in the process so that I can get the knowledge I need through through my schooling, because I feel like I'm doing well, but I'm not learning what I need to learn. So I need to slow the process down a little bit. But yeah.
Smart. Take care of yourself and what you need to do.
And I need to focus on those girls too. So
For sure. They're only young once.
exactly.
All right. So everybody should go check out the coffee shop. And as soon as you have your esthetician license, they should come get facials from you.
Definitely.
You're a rock star.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. We'll talk later.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
So next time you're in LA or if you're in the area, swing by Alana's Coffee Roasters and say hi. They're on Venice Boulevard between the 405 and Lincoln. If you'd like more information on Independence Center, please give us a call, 310-202-7102, or check us out online at our website at independencecenter.com. We are a nonprofit and we're always happy to accept donations. So if you'd like to contribute to the success of the next Emily or whoever else might be next, please contact us today.